Welcome to my channel, The Human Frontier. The battlefield had already gone silent when I found her. Smoke drifted through the broken valley like grey ghosts, rising from the wreckage of burnt-out armored vehicles and shattered drone shells. The war between the Terran Coalition and the Carix Dominion had turned this once green frontier world into a graveyard of metal and bone. I was supposed to be running reconnaissance, not searching for survivors, but something moved near the edge of the crater, and instinct pulled me toward it. At first, I thought it was debris shifting in the wind. Then I saw the faint glow blue, pulsing weakly beneath torn armor. An alien. My hand tightened around my rifle. Protocol was simple: confirm threat, report position, eliminate if necessary. Carix warriors were among the deadliest soldiers in the galaxy, fast, ruthless, trained from birth for combat. Many human squads had never returned after encountering even a single one. But as I stepped closer, the truth became clear. She wasn't a threat. She was dying. Her armor had been cracked open along the side, exposing silver-toned skin streaked with dark blood that shimmered faintly under the dim sky. One of her 4 luminous eyes flickered open, unfocused, and then shut again. Her breathing came in shallow, ragged bursts. I hesitated. Helping her would be treason under military law. Leaving her would be safer for me, for my record, for the mission. Yet something in the way she lay there motionless except for that desperate struggle to breathe made my decision feel less like a choice and more like inevitability. I slung my rifle over my shoulder and knelt beside her. "Easy," I muttered, opening my field medkit. "Don't move." Her eyes opened again, sharper this time. For a moment, pure fear flashed across her face. Then confusion. Perhaps she had expected a finishing strike, not a human soldier kneeling beside her with medical tools. "Why?" she whispered, her voice thin and unfamiliar in human translation frequencies. "Because you're hurt," I replied. "And I'm not leaving you like this." The wound was worse than I expected. A shard of plasma-scorched metal had pierced her side, and her internal armor plating had partially fused from the heat. Removing it incorrectly would kill her faster than the injury itself. I worked slowly, carefully applying stabilizing gel to prevent further bleeding. Her muscles tensed under my hands, but she didn't resist. She simply watched me, disbelief written across her alien features. "You should hate me," she said quietly. "Your kind hunts mine." "War hunts everyone," I answered. "Doesn't mean I have to." Her breathing steadied slightly as the med gel began repairing the damaged tissue. When I finally removed the metal fragment, she let out a sharp gasp, her body trembling, but the bleeding slowed immediately. For the first time since I'd found her, she relaxed. "My name is Vera," she said. "Jonah Hale," I replied. "Human medic, temporary rule-breaker." A faint expression crossed her face, something almost like a smile. Moving her was the next challenge. My shuttle was parked nearly 2 kilometers away, hidden behind a ridge. Carrying a fully armored Carix warrior across unstable terrain wasn't exactly part of standard procedure, but leaving her behind wasn't an option anymore. I fashioned a support sling from spare straps and helped her to her feet. She leaned heavily against me, clearly exhausted, yet determined not to collapse. "Why do you help an enemy?" she asked again as we began walking. "Because today, you're not my enemy," I said. "You're a patient." She seemed to think about that for a long time. "You are strange, human." Not the first time I've heard that. The journey back to the shuttle felt longer than it should have. Twice we had to take cover as distant patrol drones scanned the battlefield, their lights sweeping across the wreckage. Each time, she instinctively reached for a weapon that was no longer there, her warrior instincts refusing to fade even in injury. "You don't have to fight right now," I told her. "I have fought my entire life," she replied. "Stopping feels wrong. Try resting anyway." After a moment, she nodded. Inside the shuttle, I secured her to the medical seat and activated the portable diagnostic scanner. The display flickered with unfamiliar alien readings, but the translation software gradually converted them into usable data. She had lost a significant amount of blood, suffered internal fractures, and her energy regulation nodes were nearly depleted. "She's lucky to be alive," the automated system muttered in its calm digital voice. "Yeah," I said softly. "She is." I began the deeper treatment cycle, injecting regenerative serum adapted for multispecies compatibility. Her eyes widened slightly as warmth spread through her system. "What is that?" she asked. "Something that gives your body a fighting chance." "You risk punishment for this," she said. "Probably." "Why?" I paused, considering the question. "Because if I leave you to die just because we wear different uniforms, then what exactly are we fighting to protect?" She stared at me, silent. Hours passed as the shuttle remained hidden among the rocky cliffs. Outside, the sky shifted from ash-gray to the deep violet of approaching night. Inside, the quiet hum of medical systems filled the cabin. Eventually, she sat up, stronger now, though still pale. "I owe you my life," she said. "You don't owe me anything," I replied. "Just focus on healing." But she shook her head. "Among my people, life debt is sacred. I will not forget this." I didn't know what to say to that. When long-range sensors detected coalition patrols returning to the area, I prepared to leave. Dropping her at a neutral medical station beyond the combat zone would be safest for both of us. As the shuttle lifted into the night sky, she watched the stars through the viewing port, her expression distant. "I was told humans were cruel," she said after a while. "Some are," I answered. "Some aren't. Same as everywhere. My commanders said your kind feels nothing for enemies." I chuckled softly. "Your commanders haven't met many medics." For the first time since I had found her, she laughed, quietly, but genuinely. The journey to the neutral outpost took several hours. During that time, she asked questions about Earth, about human culture, about why someone would choose a role focused on saving lives instead of taking them. I answered as best I could, surprised by how natural the conversation felt. By the time the station's lights appeared in the distance, something had changed between us. The tension of enemy lines had faded, replaced by something simpler, two survivors sharing a moment of peace in the middle of a galaxy at war. "I did not expect hope today," she said softly. "Neither did I." The shuttle docked quietly, far from the main traffic lanes. I helped her stand, making sure her stabilizers were still active. "This is where we part ways," I said. "Medical staff here won't ask questions." She studied me for a long moment, her luminous eyes reflecting the station lights. "You showed mercy where none was required," she said. "That is rare among warriors." "I'm not much of a warrior." "You are," she replied. "Just not the kind who destroys." Before I could respond, she reached into a compartment on her armor and removed a small metallic emblem marked with the insignia of her warrior house. "If ever our paths cross again," she said, placing it in my hand, "show this. My people will know you are under my protection." I looked at the emblem, unsure what to say. "Take care of yourself, Vera. And you, Jonah Hale." Then she turned and walked toward the station's inner corridor, her steps still slow but steady. I watched until she disappeared from sight. Only then did I return to the shuttle, the small emblem still resting in my palm. War would continue. Orders would still come. Lines between allies and enemies would remain drawn across the stars. But something about that night had shifted my understanding of those lines. Sometimes, the difference between enemy and ally wasn't species, language, or allegiance. Sometimes, it was simply the choice someone made in a single moment, whether to walk away, or to kneel beside a fallen stranger and decide that saving a life mattered more than winning a war. And somewhere out there, I knew, a once fallen alien warrior was alive because of that choice, carrying with her the same realization I now held. Hope can begin in the smallest acts of kindness, even on the darkest battlefields. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more cinematic science fiction stories.